Welcome to the 10th episode of our video series on cattle farmer training, brought to you by the Karan Beef Academy. This video series will not only give you a good understanding of cattle farming and what needs to be taken into consideration, but will also assist you in becoming more profitable and sustainable as a cattle farmer. We will cover a wide range of topics throughout this series, aimed to inform you on best practice and enlighten you on some new techniques. We will also shed some light on challenges facing cattle farmers and how to overcome them. This episode on how to make your herd economically viable is all about when the economic benefits of keeping a herd exceeds the economic costs. Your herd both increases your wealth and pays for your lifestyle. It is important to know the difference between the short-term cash flow generated by selling a cow or slaughtering it for its meat and that of sustainable wealth. Sustainable wealth is generated when healthy cows are kept for breeding healthy calves, thus securing cash flow for future wealth generation. Cows and bulls are kept on farm at a ratio of around 50:1 for all year round calving and 25:1 if strictly seasonal. For example, 3 months. One should aim for their cows to calve at least once a year, producing either a bull calf or heifer calf, which must be raised up to the desired weaning weight. The percentage of calves weaned per cow exposed is known as the weaning rate, and this is a very important metric for the economic viability of a herd. Another very important key profit driver is the amount of kilograms weaned per hectare. It is good for your weaners to gain weight. However, try to maximize the percentage of homegrown feed in the herd's diet instead of buying feed in a bag. It is almost always cheaper to convert grass to beef than to buy feed in. The weaning rate can be increased by improved nutrition in the herd, having tighter calving intervals, and making sure you are breeding healthy cows with fertile bulls in an environment with limited stress. Once these calves are weaned, the decision needs to be made to either keep the calf for future economic gain or sell it off for immediate cash flow. According to your system, you may want to keep heifers to increase the herd size and rather sell bulls to cover expenses and support your lifestyle. Or, if you are at your maximum carrying capacity, you may want to sell heifers and grow bulls out on a lower cost system with less risk than a breeding herd. As mentioned earlier, it is important to not only keep the short-term economic goals in mind, but also the future wealth-generating effects that a herd can offer. We should aim to always have an adequate ratio of cows to bulls on the farm. When considering to sell or cull an aged cow, first determine whether or not she is able to give milk to her calf. If she is still able to calve, it would often be more economically viable to keep her in your herd. Culling decisions often play a vital role in the management of a beef herd and are important for both animal well-being and farm profitability. To ensure a stronger herd, it would be wise to consider the following when setting up a culling strategy. Firstly, reproduction. Reproductive efficiency is one of the key factors of farm profitability. Often cows and heifers eat feed without providing an income by producing calves. Secondly, determine the udder formation. Low udders on cows make it more difficult for calves to reach, and they can be at risk to injury or disease. Then, health and immunity. Because cattle with inadequate health are a risk and can lead to a loss in sales revenue. Animals with a stronger immunity toward diseases in your area would be a more feasible choice when buying in or keeping stock, so make sure they are from areas with the same diseases as your area. Weight loss is another concern because cattle with a less than optimal body condition score would also lead to a possible loss in sales revenue. Calf performance is important because cows consistently weaning lighter calves indicate a poorer ability to nurture a calf or produce milk for a calf. It may also indicate inferior cow genetics. Collaborative farming is when two or more farms share farming resources, such as machinery and farming operations, like grazing. This type of farming is especially helpful when farmers get to focus on their respective strengths and interests, which would often lead to reduced operating costs per unit and hence increased output. One farmer may be more effective on crop production, while the other is more effective on livestock production. By collaborating, the two farmers would be able to reduce their operating costs per unit and increase their production. Another example of collaborative farming would be buyers and sellers groups. This is when groups of farmers put funds together to buy larger amounts of stock in one order. Some practical examples would be reducing vaccination costs by splitting vaccines. This also applies to other operations such as transportation and labor. Your feed and medical costs will likely make up the main portion of your expenses, so you need to be strategic about your disease treatment and feeding plans. Don't spend money where you don't need to, but make sure you don't stuff a profit into the operation and end up with higher mortalities and lower weaning rates. Choose the system that is best suited for your environment and setup. If you are on rough terrain and animals are expected to walk far for food and water, you may want to choose a smaller animal that is built to walk long distances. Consider what your target market is and make sure you deliver to those standards. By always selling calves in good condition, you will get a higher price than if you sold a thin or sick calf. Income minus expense means either a profit or a loss, so you need to consider both your income and your expenses, not just one or the other. Thank you for watching. We do hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please follow our social media channels for more and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to access the other videos in this series. Until next time, goodbye.